Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, but the first story that I've got for you guys today is the big story we've all been waiting for. The Arnold Classic Competitor List 2025 was released today. And I was genuinely surprised by some of the names that were on this list and some of the names that were not on this list. So the two guys that we already knew for sure, Andrew Jacked, Samson Dauda, they're on the list, no surprise there. I'd say the biggest surprise, for me at least, of this list is Derek Lunsford. And I'm surprised because, A, Derek doesn't have to qualify for the Olympia. He's a former Olympia champ. He doesn't need to do any shows in between. So I am impressed that he's doing the Arnold, and he's going to try to earn his momentum back, earn his way back to the Olympia. Can he be a guy that pulls it off? Can he beat Samson Dauda? I said in my last video that I feel that Hottie is probably the only guy that's going to take this title at the Arnold from Samson, or could take it from Samson. But could Derek be that guy? Because the interesting thing about Derek was, like I said, A, he doesn't have to do this show. He doesn't have to qualify. But B, we don't know who his new coach for the Arnold prep is going to be. And it's been a very short amount of time now, post-Olympia, that Hani Rambod announced he was retiring. It's really only been weeks since the Hani Rambod announcement that he was retiring. So it's been a very short time for Derek to find a coach, start working with them, and get acclimated to the new coaching relationship to start an Arnold prep when the Arnold is almost 2 months away now. And I think that's going to be the really exciting thing to watch with Hottie, with Derek, with Nick as well, even though it's a different coach. But we're going to find out firsthand how much of a factor did Hani Rambod play in these guys' physiques, in these guys' placings, in these guys' victories. We're going to find out firsthand how good Hani really was when we see Derek and eventually Hottie compete without him as their coach, which I think is going to be very interesting because people like to say this about the top coaches as a critique. It's like, well, the guys they're coaching are so good, anybody could coach them because they're so genetically gifted and they would still look good. We're going to see that get put to the test with three top guys this year, including Nick Walker, Hottie Chupin, and Derek Lunsford. I just didn't realize it would be so soon that we're going to find out what Derek looks like without Hani at the Arnold. And I personally think that Hani played a big factor in Derek's best looks. I know how hands-on Hani is, and I just don't know how much time Derek is going to need to really adjust to a new coaching situation. And I don't know if this time, post-Olympia and post-Hani Rambod retirement announcement between now and the Arnold, I don't know if that's long enough. But let's get back to this list, shall we? So, Derek surprised me. Akeem Williams is doing this show. So, Akeem already earned his early Olympia qualification by winning the last show of the year, the Big Man Weekend. And here's a guy we haven't seen compete in a while, James Hollingshead. That name surprised me. I had been seeing a few physique updates from James on his Instagram, so I had a feeling he was going to be competing soon. But that's definitely a guy that we haven't seen in a while that's doing the show. Andrew Jacked we knew about. Brandon Curry adding another Mr. Olympia title to this competitor list. I believe there's 3 open and 1 212. We'll talk about that next. But Brandon Curry throwing his hat in the ring here. Not only is he an Olympia champion, but he's also defending Arnold Classic champion. Does he have a shot at winning that $500,000 for first place? He did drop all the way to 9th place at the Olympia this year. Could he be in the mix here? We've also got Sean Clarita doing this show. 212 Olympia champ, formerly. Keone is the current champ. He's done the Open Arnold Classic before, and he was unable to crack the top 3. Will that be different for him this time around? John De La Rosa doing the show. William Bonac, another former Arnold Classic champion in this lineup. He was able to take top 7 at the Olympia, 7th place. So Bonac did place ahead of Brandon Curry. Will he be able to do that again at the Arnold? Then you've also got Justin Rodriguez, Patrick Moore, and Carlos Thomas Jr. This will be interesting. Carlos is a guy I've talked about a lot in the last couple of videos. He's been posting some recent physique updates. I think he's genuinely a guy that's got a ton of potential. He's got freaky body parts. His legs are crazy, round, full, 3D. Got a crazy small waist for the size of his legs. Relatively new pro. He's never done the Olympia. This will be his first time at the Arnold. Can he shake this lineup up and make a splash? I think he's got a chance at the top 6 here. So what do you guys think about this list? I was most surprised as far as who's not on this list. I was most surprised to see that Nick is for sure not doing the Arnold Classic. Nick Walker not being on this list did surprise me. It's a lot of prize money. I think Nick needs to make a strong comeback. I want to see Nick win a big show. I want to see him go up against big names. And this Arnold Classic is all those things. So I was kind of surprised to see him not on the list. Wasn't surprised to not see Hottie here. He had already said he's not doing it. But I thought maybe there's a chance because he's been posting so many physique updates lately. It looks like he's not doing it. And as far as the guys on the list, I'd say I was most surprised to see Derek on the list. I really thought after dropping to 3rd at the Olympia, he would shut it down and focus on just next year's Olympia. Building a relationship with a new coach, learning how that dynamic is going to play out, and then, just kind of practicing that over the course of a year. But then again, $500,000 prize money is a lot of money. And then what do you guys think about as far as your top 6 predictions? I'm going to give you a really quick top 6 predictions just based on this list and what pops out to me here. I'm going to go Samson 1st, Derek 2nd, Andrew Jack 3rd. I'm going to go Bonac 4th, Curry 5th, Sean Clarita 6th. That's a quick top 6 there. Let me know what your guys' top 6 is in the comments down below. Now, Classic Physique will also be an interesting one. You don't have all the big names that you typically have at the Classic Physique Arnold, but you have some important ones. You've got Wesley Vissers, as you guys already knew, the returning and defending Arnold Classic champ. But it looks like he does have a shot at losing that Arnold Classic title because Mike Sommerfeld is also doing the Arnold. I kind of expected that. Your 2nd place Classic Physique Olympia runner-up, the only guy right behind Chris Bumstead, and probably the only active Classic Physique competitor right now that has the best chance at beating Wesley at the Arnold. But honestly, this is another one that's missing some big names here. I was kind of surprised not to see Ramon. I was surprised not to see Urs. I was surprised not to see Breon. I was even a little bit surprised not to see Terrence Ruffin, Ruff Diesel, because he's making his comeback in 2025. So those are the main 2 guys here. You've also got Logan Franklin, who I'm very excited to see. I saw him post a physique update the other day that I thought was very impressive. And when I saw that physique update, I was like, okay, he's got to be doing the Arnold. He looked really good. I think this will be an opportunity for some of these guys that are not the typical top classic guys to get some high placings here, win some prize money, and be in some good call-outs with Wesley and Mike. Because, like I said, I'm a little bit surprised by the lack of the top 6 from the Olympia. But you've also got Lucas Funk, Michael DeBull. He'll definitely be a top 6 guy in my opinion. Gabriel Zancanelli, Matt Grego. He could be a top 6 guy here. Jeremiah Willies, Osmar Alanis, Junior Javorsky. And I genuinely can't read that name. That's 2nd from the right on the top. It looks like Adijo Franklin Adu. But I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The font on that one looks really small to me. And last but not least, you've got Jihoon Bang doing this one. So my question for you guys based on this lineup, we know that Wesley didn't do very well at the Olympia. He didn't bring the same look that he brought to the Arnold. He ended up in 8th place, 6 placings behind Mike Sommerfeld. Also placing behind Michael DeBull, who's in this lineup. Michael was 7th, Wesley was 8th. He did place ahead of Logan Franklin, though, who's in this lineup. But my question for you guys is, even though Wesley is the defending Arnold Classic champion, going into the Arnold, can we honestly still say he's the favorite to win? I kind of hate to say it because I love Wesley and I love his physique so much, but I honestly think we've got to say that Mike is the favorite going into the show. He's a top 2 at the Olympia. So if I had to give some really quick classic physique predictions, I would probably go Mike Sommerfeld in 1st, Wesley Vissers in 2nd, Michael DeBull in 3rd, Logan Franklin in 4th, maybe Matt Grego and Gabriel Zancanelli rounding out the top 6. But yeah, I would say for the most part with both of these competitor lists, they were about what I expected. Like I said, in open bodybuilding, I was really mostly just surprised that Nick is confirmed to be not doing it. And I would say I was pleasantly surprised to see that Carlos Thomas Jr. jumped in there. Then with Classic Physique, I'm mostly surprised that so many top guys are missing from there. Ramon, Breon, Rough Diesel. I guess maybe all those guys have their sights set on the Olympia next year now that the title is going to be vacant. Chris Bumstead is going to be gone. I guess all these guys are gunning for that. Now, next up in the news, I want to talk about a recent interview that Keone Pearson did. So shout out to TFE Media, who he did that interview with. And a couple clips from that interview really stood out to me. The first one being he's talking about moving up to open and his desire to compete against Samson Dauda because he thinks he can beat him. And again, just kind of teases us with saying one day he is going to move to open, which I think would be a great move for him.
I want to catch Samson before he stops bodybuilding. So hopefully I can catch him when I move up one day and he's still there. And I want to go against him for sure. Why not? I'm not the type of guy that run away from competition. I don't care how good you are. I want to be next to you because I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of doing. And I've been an athlete my whole life. And so anything, even when I play football and track, I've always been that person that I want to race you. I want to go against you. I want to go head-on-head contact with you because I like that. That's just my personality when it comes to sports. Same thing with bodybuilding. I want to go against these guys. I want to go against the best of the best. I'm not in the sport to just, I'm not in the sport to just like be comfortable. I want to go against these guys, these bigger 300-pound guys.
And then the other clip that really stood out to me was him talking about the 2024 Open Olympia. And he says he thinks he would have been top 3 had he done open at the 2024 Olympia.
Obviously, watch the 2024 Men's Open Bodybuilding Mr. Olympia for sure. So, and my first question is going to be hard to answer maybe. Where would you place if you compete in 2024 Mr. Olympia Open Bodybuilding with 2024 two-turbo package of you?
I would say in the top 3.
Wow. I think it's
100%.
Top 3 was like Derek, Hardy, and Samson.
Yes.
You can be
100%.
Actually, that's why.
It's hard for me to really disagree with that. I think there's a chance he could have been. I think Keone's 212 physique on the 212 Olympia stage this year was better than most open guys' physiques at the Olympia or not. I really want to see Keone do an open bodybuilding show. And honestly, I was kind of holding my breath a little bit with the possibility that he might jump in the Arnold Classic, again, because of that prize money. And I don't want to undersell how vast that prize money is and how appealing it could be to a guy like Keone, that when he wins the 212 Mr. Olympia, the biggest title in the world for his division, he gets 50 grand. If he were able to win the Arnold Classic here, it's 10 times that amount, which is probably why this is not the first time that Sean Clarita is doing the Open Arnold Classic. The prize money difference between 212 at the Olympia and Open at the Arnold is a huge difference. This would be life-changing, career-changing money for Keone if he won the Open Arnold Classic. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think it would be a good idea for Keone to switch to Open? You guys know how I feel about it. I think Keone has some of the best genetics that bodybuilding has ever seen, really across any division. And I want to see him maximize his potential by doing Open and filling out that physique to the max that he can. Now, next up in the news, yes, we've still got more. It wasn't just the Arnold Classic lineup story. We got more physique updates from Goodvito, Vitaly Ugonikov, who we're going to be seeing very, very soon, starting with the Arnold Classic Brazil, then the Pittsburgh Pro, then the New York Pro. And these are all the shows that essentially immediately follow the Arnold Classic. The Arnold basically kicks off the 2025 season. So all the shows that Goodvito is doing are the shows basically right after that. So when you talk about these young, raw talent, up-and-coming guys, Goodvito is one of them for sure. And we're going to find out very, very soon, in just a matter of months really, what improvements he's made and how he's looking. These are the physique updates that we've got from him now, but it's going to be about 3 months before we see him on stage. In my opinion, the best that we had ever seen Goodvito was at that Detroit Pro against Martin Fitzwater. So the question is, can he beat that look on stage in 2025? And if so, I think he's going to be a big deal. He's going to be a factor in 2025 because you saw how well Martin did and you saw how close their physiques were. And so if Vito has improved and ends up looking even better than he looked back in Detroit, and I've said this before in videos, but I think logically that puts him in a similar trajectory as Martin. Because I think him and Martin were very, very comparable. That was a very competitive top 2 in Detroit. Martin continued to get better as he competed throughout the year and eventually presented the top 4 Olympia package. But I think Goodvito has the ability and the freak factor to have the same type of quick rise that Martin had. And frankly, I would be surprised if we don't see Goodvito win at least one of those 3 shows. Pittsburgh, Brazil, or New York. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the video there. Let me know what you guys thought about the competitor lists for the Arnold in the comments down below. What do you think about Goodvito? What do you think about Keone to Open? All that good stuff. Make sure you like the video. It helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power. Signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel, and consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.